Hi everybody, this is the tutorial for Oneida. My name's Billy from Piano and Pies. Let's get stuck straight in. We're in standard tuning for this, and the beginning of the song has a G major shape that we're going to break up into low notes and high notes. So first of all, we need to get this shape sorted, which is a 3 on the E string, 2 on the A string, 0, 0, 0, and then a 3 on the high E. However, we're not going to strum it all in this song, we're going to be picking out low notes and high notes. And the pattern for every G major in this song will be play the lowest note, which is the 3 on the E string, followed by 2 strums of the higher pitch strings, typically go from the D string all the way down, followed by an open D string, and then the higher strings twice afterwards. So slowly that is. And we're going to repeat that 4 times in a row. In fact, we're counting in groups of 6s for this. So for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You'll do that 4 times in a row like this. We then get to the first verse where there are some new chord shapes and some new patterns that we have to figure out. And it's worth mentioning that if you want the chord chart for this song, which has all the chords with the full structure, so you know exactly what order to play the chords, as well as a chord and lyric matchup, so if you're playing along or singing along and you need to know which chord goes with which lyric, then I've got you covered over on Patreon. Those 2 sheets you can get, including well over 600 songs of all the other latest releases of the past few years, all for the price of a coffee. So yeah, feel free to check that out. There's a link in the description, more about it later. But yes, the first verse has a G major chord, and you'll play that through. But then we have a very short transition of an A minor chord. So we'll play an A minor shape, which is 2, 2 on the D and G, 1 on the B string. And we'll play the low open A string, and just 2 strums of the bottom few strings. So up to now we have. And then we're going to have a full pattern on C major. Now what we need to do is make sure our C major chord really is what you call a C/G. What we need to do is get those 2 fingers on the E and A string, fret 3, middle finger on the D, open G, 1 on the B and an open E string. And what we do is we play the A string, fret 3, and then twice around the bottom few strings like we've been getting used to, followed by the low E string, and then the bottom few strings twice. So we have. You'll repeat that round, so it's 3 in a row. Then you do it again, but just the first part, before going back to G. So it's quite intricate, that part, so I'm going to play it all in one go slowly so you can see how it all fits together without me talking over the top of it. Now it's really worth your time getting used to those patterns, because not only does that verse happen a few times in this song, but you'll be singing those chords with that pattern in other sections as well. Speaking of which, we have a pre-chorus which is very, very similar. We start off with G major, 1 time round the A minor, and then C, again, a 3rd time, back to G. We then get to the chorus where things change one more time, so there's a new order of chords. So it might definitely be worth checking out that link over on Patreon where you can get everything right out. Saves you trying to memorise or trying to write it down and potentially make a mistake. However, digging in with the chorus, we start with A minor, C, G, C, C again, G, G again. At that point, we start to get a lot of good news. We have a second verse, which is basically the same as the first verse, so we're going to skip over that part. And looking over to my notes, which is what's available on Patreon, we have another pre-chorus, which is the same as the first pre-chorus, so that's good. We then have a second chorus, which is the same as the first, you just do it 2 times in a row. So yeah, pretty much the same thing really. However, we then get to the bridge where things change yet again. That's where we have kind of like a big solo, and because we're focusing on the chords for this video, that's a bit out of the scope for this topic. However, if you want to get that raw out in a video of itself, leave a comment below and I'll consider making it if there's a lot of interest. But going to the bridge, what I'm going to do is, because it's quite long, I'm going to play through it all, shout out the chords, and yeah, so you can follow it that way. That's probably going to be the easiest and the quickest to do it. So we start off with A minor, C, G, C, again, G, A minor short, C, again, a short C, G, again, one short A minor, C, again, a short C, and G. So that is a really, really long bridge with lots of chords. I wouldn't say random's the word, but it seems a little bit sporadic with how and when you play them, which is why I thought I'd write out the sheets just to make it super easy for anyone who was wanting to play along to it. After that we have a pre-chorus, a chorus, and then an outro, which is basically just a G. Play that round 8 times, and that's the end of the song. And there we go, that's everything we need for this song. If you found it useful, please do like and subscribe. That really, really helps out the channel, and consider getting the extra material over on Patreon. In fact, the people buzzing by on the screen, they are my active patrons. Well over 110 of us now at this point, and the moment this video goes live, they'll get access to that content straight away. So thanks to them for their support. Thanks to you for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.